Hi, people. Hello, everybody. Welcome to. Can you hear me, please? If you can hear me, let me know. Just say hi or something.
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that you guys joined, really early. Welcome, people. So my name is Timilola. I'm comms executive at University for Good, and this is our alumni webinar November edition. Welcome, people. Our guest is here. I'm so excited. Emem is here. Emem is our guest today, and she's going to be speaking to us about staying relevant while you build your tech career. So let me give you guys some. Can you still hear me? If you can still hear me, please let me know. Okay. Can everyone? Okay, yes. Okay, great. Okay. So MM is she's an HR expert, right? And she has over she has over 10 years of experience. That's an expert, well, period, honestly. Over 10 years of experience. She's worked with companies like MTN, UBA, and she now owns her own company, TalentLoft Consulting, and they help to bridge the unemployment gap for techies like you guys. So, and they have been able to help over 100 techies to get jobs locally. That is like super amazing. So she's the best person to be handling this topic, honestly speaking. And if I were you guys, I would get my jotter and my pen and start jotting things down. And I also hope that you guys also have questions for her. So, but just listen, she's going to speak to us first, and then you'll now be able to ask questions, right? So, over to you. Welcome. Thank you for being early.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Team Lola. And thank you to Ingressive for Good for having me speak on this important topic. I was really surprised when I got the DM. I don't think I'm an expert. Let me let you know. So I started from a customer service background and then I moved to HR. So my work experience in total is 10 years. So I've been doing HR for about 6 years now. So I want to say thank you, well done to Ingressive for Good for the good work you are doing, taking resources and time to upskill youths in tech. It's a really big deal because I know how much it involves investing in learning a tech skill. So well done, guys, and I'm happy to be aligned with you. Um, so like Temilola has said, I've been asked to speak to you on staying relevant in tech. And this is a very important topic because, for we in the tech industry, you can agree with me that the pressure is getting worse. That's how we say it, right? The pressure is getting worse. I mean, you are constantly thinking of how to keep your skills sharp, how to find new techniques. I mean, every other day, a new framework is coming out, a new tool is coming out. You're trying to find how to use the right skill, right technology framework, and you're looking for the right technology to also learn, right? So these are key questions that, if you agree with me, always are in the mind of any tech person. And even though tech is now the new oil, as we all know, a lot of countries have even abandoned their natural resources and they are going into human capital development and solving problems using tech. It's also safe to say that it is a rapidly growing industry. It's fast-paced, things are changing all the time. It's very dynamic. And so you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to be left behind. You want to just keep moving. I mean, shout out to our parents, right? Our parents would take a job for 40 years, be in one job, doing one thing, and they were fine with it. And when they are retiring, they'll give them long service award. Kudos to them. But you would agree with me that we are no longer in that era, right? We are no longer there. We have to keep moving, right? So the question now is why? Why do you want to be relevant in your tech career? Why is it important to be remain relevant in your tech career? I'm going to push that question back to you guys, and I would love to see some answers in the chat. Why do you want to remain relevant in your tech career? I'll be waiting. Anybody? I don't know if they can unmute to speak. If not, I'd like some responses on the chat. To keep our jobs. Okay, Damlola. Yes, yes. Any other person? Okay, so to keep our jobs, I mean, that's enough reason to want to remain. Okay.
I want valuable to your employer and
Hello. Can you still hear me?
yes,
Okay. Yes, yes. So yes, of course, in the wake of the current layoffs happening, that's a very, very key reason why you know, staying relevant in your career and not just being relevant, valuable is very important, you know. So earning power, to increase your earning power in the industry, you need to stay relevant. To, you know, advance your career, you need to stay relevant. Stability, like you have said, to keep your jobs, and if there's any wave of layoff, to still remain in your position is very important. You stay relevant, and you might just want to, you know, everybody that is motivated by money, you might just want to be an authority leader. You want every people to come to you and ask questions. You want to be a thought leader in your space. That's another good reason to stay relevant. So I'm going to take you through a few strategies I think would help, and I'll start with always learn, right? You must have heard this 1,000 times. You must have read it. You must have watched YouTube videos telling you always learn, keep learning, make sure you're on your toes. Don't rely on the last information you got last week. Keep learning. But there is a science to learning. There is a science to learning. It's not just about taking the next best course or taking the course everybody is taking just because everybody is taking it. You have to be intentional about it. And I'll just take you through a few tips on how you can optimize your learning process. So the first thing I would say is execution. Execution is key, right? You have to execute all you have learned based on the knowledge you have. Learning without doing is analysis by what they call it, paralysis by analysis, right? So you could buy all the courses, you could read all the blogs, but if you are not practicing almost as soon as you have learned, then you've wasted your time, you've wasted your energy, right? Another thing I would say is always try to pay for what you are learning, right? Why do I say that? If you don't pay, it will not be useful to you. So I'm not saying don't go for free courses, but if you know a course is going to be, what you are learning is going to be beneficial to you and there's a price tag to it, try to pay for it. You would pay more attention to learning and practicing that course, that topic, better than if it was free. So imagine for this webinar, imagine if they told you to pay 50,000 naira for it. Trust me, you will switch off your phone, make sure that you are paying attention, you've carried your notes, and you are listening to everything, right? So that is another way to be intentional about your learning. I think day before yesterday or so, I saw in the news that Ronaldo is now the only footballer that has scored 5 goals in also in the FIFA World Cup. He didn't do that. He didn't achieve that by just reading about football or just watching YouTube videos. He's always practicing. Michael Jordan has won 6 NBA championships, not because he was only reading about basketball, but because he practiced and practiced. So execution is key. The second principle will be solve a problem. The core of any organization that is set up, is except the organization doesn't know what they are doing, they are there to solve a problem, right? So when you are learning, have an aim to solve a problem. Look, with the current layoffs that are happening, the strength of your skill set right now, the strength lies in your ability to solve problems. It's not in, oh, I can code. oh, I can design, I can do, I'm a product manager, I can manage a product. It's in the problem that you are solving. Okay, so tailor your learning efforts towards solving a problem. So as you are learning, if you are building a portfolio or building a project, that project should have an end goal, which is to solve a problem. So that even when you are defending it in an interview, it doesn't look like a white elephant project that you just decided to do just because you need a project on your portfolio, right? Okay. Then another thing I would say is mentorship. Mentorship. Find a mentor. Find someone that you can learn from. At your stage now, I don't know, most of you might be newbies in the industry. It may be easy for you to find mentors where you currently are. It doesn't have to be the big names on LinkedIn or on GitHub or whatever. Even your head of department is already where you aspire to be. So you know, forge those kind of relationships and get someone to mentor you, to train you, to give you advice. I know they could get very busy, but that is where your interpersonal skills will come, and you know how to manage such relationships, not just for learning purposes, but for the fact that you need a sponsor. You need someone that would be able to speak for you in rooms that you might not be able to find yourself in. So if you have a mentor, and the mentor comes across an opportunity that needs a team, trust me, of course, you'll be part of it. And your relevance keeps building, your value keeps building as you tag along with that person. It could also be an indirect mentorship, you know, just following an industry leader, an inventor of a package, you know, Golang and all those new packages, Vue, and just reading their thoughts on something that you are working on, and just right. So there's something about having to convey a concept to another person or a group of people that makes it clearer to you as you teach, right? So Seneca said, teaching is learning. As you teach, you are learning, you're opening up your mind. So one hack would be for you to, if you are taking a course, if you are learning anything, take it as if you are expected to go teach new people, and it will change, it will teach you how to communicate Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if it was my network. Okay, but can everyone hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So like I was saying, teach. Teaching is learning publicly. As you're teaching, or as you're finding opportunities to teach, to share your experiences. So I'm not saying you don't have to be a guru to teach. Just share your experiences, share your challenges, you know, while working. At that time, in such cases, you get new perspectives, you get multiple perspectives, and then your circle of influence also increases. Your value keeps increasing when you put yourself out there to teach what you've learned, to teach what you failed, right? Your influence increases, especially on, you know, the popular platforms, LinkedIn and all of that, you know. So it also keeps you top of mind for people. So let me tell you the story of one of my candidates. He's now my friend. His name is Shadrach Abba. You might know him because he posts a lot on LinkedIn. So Shadrach had an interview with me and the hiring manager, and you know, he, of course, he didn't do well, you know, but he took feedback, and based on that feedback, all of a sudden I just started seeing him everywhere. He's a front-end developer, so everything he was doing was always posting it, always posting it, always posting it, always asking questions. Oh, I tried to do this, but I'm stuck here. Can anyone help me? And people would comment, people would talk with him. He became top of mind for me as a recruiter. So when an international company came to me in my DM and said, hi, we are looking for a front-end developer, I didn't even bother going to my pipeline to say, well, who do I have? He just came to my mind and I linked him and he got the job, instantly. So while you teach, while you learn publicly and you are teaching, you are also learning, you are also gaining influence. You don't have to gather a group of people in a class to teach. Like I said, you can share a blog post on your Instagram, you can just put something on your LinkedIn. Of course, just show your work, show what you are doing, show your mistakes, show your errors, and don't be afraid. Nobody is perfect. Don't be afraid, nobody is perfect. So just post what you can online, comment on other people's posts, so it increases your influence and your reach. And that is how you keep learning and keep staying relevant. So that is on learning, right? So I've given you some tips on optimizing your learning experience, because that is that's the key thing, one of the key things you must always do while in this industry. And you can even apply it to any other industry you find yourself in, right? Now, and when you talk about collaboration, you want to be someone people want to work with. So as developers, as designers, as tech people, sometimes you can find yourself falling into that bubble of, oh, I just want to have my headphones on and be doing my thing. Nobody should talk to me. I'm busy. It doesn't mean you are a bad person, but it is hurting your career, plain and short. You have to learn how to collaborate with people. You have to learn. So I'm not saying don't have boundaries, because of course you might be extremely busy and you just can't help, right? But of course you'll be nice about it. Just be somebody people can work with, somebody people can approach. If you are not working right now, find opportunities to collaborate in the communities you may have joined. I mean, they are different. Value is different to different people. Right now, if you are looking for a job, value, of course, is money to you, but more value would be experience. So find places where you can, put in work, gain experience, meet people, network, so that when opportunities come, they remember you. Look, most people don't get jobs. Opportunities that come is not because you are so good and you are so wonderful. It's who you know, and that's just the world. It's the network, it's the relationship you forged, it's the collaboration, it's the impact that you have made in collaborations that you found yourself in. So sometimes, even if you are at work and there is a project that they've not called you into, and you feel or you know that there's value to add, you can approach and say, oh, can I be part of this? That gives you like value in the company. And if they want to take a decision, they'll say, oh, this person is always willing to collaborate. This person is he has team spirit, stuff like that. Because now soft skills are now called power skills. They are even more powerful than your hard skills of coding and whatever. So your interpersonal skills, your ability to negotiate, your ability to work with people is really important to keep you on the top of things at work, and whatever community you find yourself. I mean, even the big companies like Zoom, I think recently I heard Zoom, Cisco, Microsoft Teams. I mean, you will say they are competitors, but they are not. They are collaborating to, they have collaborated to build another streaming platform that will even be more beneficial to organizations. So don't compete. Don't think you are competing with anybody. Everybody has their lane. Find ways to collaborate, and it will help you, to help your portfolio, it will help your CV. Talking about CVs, always have your CVs ready. Always, always, always have your CV live and up to date. Yes, we all get busy, and you could lose the chance of documenting your achievements when you are currently at work, or even if you are working solo. Always document your achievements and try as much as possible to update your CV immediately, because opportunities come. And trust me, as a recruiter, sometimes if I'm not using the applicant tracking system, and I put out an ad and say and put my email address, maybe the first 30 to 50 CVs is what I can see review, and that will be it. So you always want to be ready. When you see an opportunity that fits you, you feel like you are going to do very well in this in that role, always have your CV ready. I can't tell you the countless times where, someone will rush to me and say, Emem, please, I need CV update, I need CV update. And I'm like, when do you need it? Tomorrow. It's I will do the best I can. But you find that when I'm now even interviewing such people and I'm saying, okay, what have you done? Tell me your achievements so we can articulate it. They can't remember. And that doesn't help them. So as you are doing your work, please document what you are doing. If you don't want to blow your horn, if you are the shy type, you want to stay in your corner, that's fine. If you want it only to be in your CV, that's fine. But you can also put it on your blog. You can put it on your, just happy. And this is not to self too, not to myself. Just put it out there, because sometimes some recruiters, some CEOs, they'll just go and look at your LinkedIn page or your GitHub and any other platform you are on, and based on what they are seeing, they can conclude that there's no need to see your CV. But at the same time, always have your CV ready with all your achievements, what you have done, what you have contributed, no matter how little. Always note it down and then update your CV. Let it be a living document. You can put it on Google Drive so that it is a living document. As you're updating, it's just changing whatever you need to change, right? And another thing I would say is align yourself with the right companies. As a recruiter, I've seen a lot. You see some companies that are very fine on the outside, but inside it's a mess. You need to be very careful. Right now, you might be looking for a job, you might just be looking for something to give you money, and that's all right, right? But if you want to stay relevant, you need to make sure that you are joining a group, you are joining a company that is progressive, that has a progressive culture, because tech is progressive. You don't want to join a company where they believe in only one framework and that is it forever and ever. That mindset will rub off on you, whether you like it or not. If you discover that, I would say cut your losses and move, because the industry you are in is not civil service, it's the tech industry. You don't want to work in a company that is not progressive, that is not open to change. Another aspect of that is a company that is not open to investing in your learning and development, because learning is very key to your success in this industry. So you have to be careful. You can go on LinkedIn, find people that are already in the company. Some of them might not tell you the truth, but at least you tried. But do your research, try and find out. A good company will have a very good website. Try and find out latest trends, what they've been doing for some years, how they've adjusted and adapted to trends. That will help you. So it's not just because they'll be seen as an old company, but because for your mindset is very, very important. You need to align yourself with people, with a group, with companies that have a progressive mindset, so that you too would always want to progress in wherever you find yourself, so that you too will always want to be one step ahead. And that is one thing that will keep you still relevant in the industry. And finally, I would say try and have a combination of skills. Okay, so I don't want to overburden you, right? But with what is going on now, and in my experience, so I've experienced a lot of layoffs. I've unfortunately been part of the HR that has to deliver the bad news. Even if you've been told that, oh, it's the economy that is affecting layoffs. The truth is, when HR is curating the list of people that have to leave, they'll first look for underperformers, or people that have a skill that they can just find on Fiverr or Upwork. So you need to find ways that you can combine your baseline skill with what you are currently doing now, which is great and super, with something else that you can push into. For example, now I'm an HR person, but I'm learning data analytics, not because I want to be a data analyst, but because in my research, and which is something you should also do, in my research, I found that an HR analyst has more value than a regular HR generalist, right? So if a company wants to lay off, they would keep the software engineer that has a bit of experience in operations management than just somebody that is just core software engineer. So I'm not saying, if you have the opportunity, if you have the mental space to just add something, and of course, majority of us did not study software engineering or tech in university. So don't totally throw away that CV, except some courses that I will not mention. Don't totally throw away that your university degree because you think that, oh, tech is the new all I need is tech. If you are an economics graduate, it means that you have some experience with numbers, and so that is a good addition for you, and it will really amplify and multiply your value in the eye of any employer. All right. So that being said, I will stop here. I think if you have any questions, then I'm willing to take them.
Thank you, Emem. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I think one thing that you said that stood out is like align yourself with the right companies. And I feel like most times when you're just starting out a new career, you're trying to get a job, most times people are just like, anywhere that I can get. They're not really checking what kind of company are they going to help my career, and things like that. So like being like specific, don't just jump on just any opportunity, right? You have to, and that means that you have to know where you're going. You have to like have a vision, have a plan of where you see yourself in the future, and know, okay, does this organization align with where I see myself or not, right? So yeah, that's a very, very, very valid point. Thank you for sharing that. People, do you guys have any question for MM? Just ask us now. Don't send us DM. Like, I'm not an expert, it's the expert. So ask your question. Okay, Abdul Rahim Bashir, your hand is up. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma, for the insightful presentation. I really enjoyed the presentation, and what stood out for me actually is the same as what stood out for the host, that align yourself with a progressive team. I really love that, and thank you very much. So my question is, in your presentation, you said soft skills are now called power skills, right?
Yes.
I don't know. All right. So I don't know if you can share what are the top power skills, like you said, needed to be relevant in one's tech career.
Okay.
So maybe like 5 or less. Yeah. Thank you. So that's my question. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for that question. So off of the top of my head, research skills are very, very important now, because you want to be able to quickly find information, mine the information, and use it to make quick decisions.